Hey everybody, just doing a little bit of a chat after the display for the French Regulars. Really enjoyed this project. Was quite happy. I know we're beginning October. I finished these over the weekend. I wouldn't say I met my goal of by end of September. I probably finished these on October 1st and maybe varnished and put some flock on October 2nd, but I was really happy to get this unit done. I haven't been painting as many large units recently, or, you know, I say that tongue-in-cheek, I guess, like, this isn't the largest by any means, but I've been doing a lot of character models, right? But I really enjoyed painting these, had a lot of fun seeing these sort of come to fruition after the base paint, as I started getting washes and highlights and working on them. Working the paint, I really kind of enjoyed it. The drummer has really like a completely different paint scheme, which for those that are into uniforms and these sort of periods are probably not at all surprised about that. But yeah, like that was something that was new to me when starting to paint, I guess, black powder era uniforms as compared to World War II or sci-fi and just dramatically other things that are very different. I've never done Napoleonics. I guess that would be I'm guessing very similar to this in the sense that there may be members of units or regiments that have very different color patterns. I tried to do another chestnut style horse because for those of you that maybe saw my Gentlemen and Ladies, I did a chestnut there too. And I would say it was probably the one I was least happy with as far as showing highlights. You know, I thought it still looked nice. But this one, I think I moved a little closer to where I want to be. Like, I did do some wet blending. It's harder to see on a chestnut than it is with the darker horse, where some of the highlights are a bit more stark. These were a bit more subtle. Even with the glare and the light overhead, you may be confused as to whether that's like a natural highlight from the light I have above or a painted highlight. But no, I kind of I did enjoy it. I was talking to Robert Chisholm on a video, I think it was the Gentlemen and Ladies, and he was asking about this green ground cover. It's actually, I mentioned it was an Army Painter Ivy. I still have some of that product. But when looking back on their website, they no longer offer it. It's interesting. You go to the Army Painter website, they don't offer this Ivy. I really liked it because at a distance, to me, it just looks like general weed ground cover. I mean, if you had it like crawling up a wall or something, it would look like you'd place it as ivy, I think. But it looks like just like great, just sort of weeds and stuff. Because this is French Indian War. These guys are meant to be mainly off the beaten path, woods, things like that. And so I really feel that it's added a good element to my basing. Now, one of the reasons I bring it up again, because I already told this to Robert, is that I was watching Pancake's video recently of a show in the UK, and there's a company that had like just a ton of foliage and grass coverings and tufts and all kinds of stuff called, many of you are probably familiar with it, it's called Minden Miniatures. When you actually look at their stuff, they have a variety of ground covers. They don't call any of them ivy, but they have some that look just like it, and they actually have more descriptive ones like oak and all kinds of stuff. And so I'm definitely going to be rating some of their stuff. Like, I've already been looking at distributors in North America of their stuff, because I find even though like this stuff can be expensive if you buy a lot of it, once you buy a little bit, it really goes a long way, but particularly if you're using it selectively like I am on like 28mm bases. I find a little bit goes a long way. Like, I find one of the things that I've personally learned is that too much of anything just doesn't look good in many cases. And so, like here, I have like 4 different things on here. Like, I have a grass, I have I call it a moss because that's what it's meant to be. But I have so I have like flock, like regular grass flock. I have I forget what you call it. It's just sort of a blended turf. So I have turf and grass that I just throw in there, and particularly with the turf, I'm kind of looking for just moist areas like in the woods with like moss. I have like your occasional flower, and then I occasionally put like some of this stuff. And I find that to me, it gives like a really nice sort of natural look, rather than, let's say, having loads of this or just flowers all over the base. Or, I guess I'm being a bit common sense here, but it's just a little point. And so actually getting even just one more pack of some of that sort of cover, and just placing just another thing here and there just adds exponentially to the look of, if you're going for a realistic look. And in this case, with these guys, I'm trying to go for realism, really. So, yeah, I don't have, you probably, it's a bit of an elephant on the table, I guess, but I don't have my flags yet in from GMB, and it's not their fault. I just really didn't prepare well for it. I just started painting, and I'm like, oh, spend some more money. I'm going to buy them, and, I'm just not doing it. And so, like, I'm almost finished with these guys, and I ordered them. And so I've got 2 packs of 2 flags. So I've got, like, 4 flags for this type of troop coming. And I'm probably going to order another. I have an extra. The way it worked out is trying to think of why. I don't know why. You order a lot of these things individually, and they're not really like an even block here. I'm going to order another one of these guys, and so I'll have like a regiment flag as well as a country flag. And then I've got another 2, because just right off I'll be most likely ordering them in the future again, but I'm thinking now, after having painted these guys up, that I'd like to do some hussars from the same line. The hussars, they have from this exact release. Like, they released these more recently in the grand scheme of things compared to their regular French Fusiliers. And they have not hussars, grenadiers. Sorry, they have grenadiers that are of this sort of line, with these sort of more like animated poses compared to some of the other ones where they're just marching. And the only thing they don't have is they don't have like a specific officer pack for the grenadiers. They tell you to use the your typical officers that you would have for your line troops. Like, they basically want you to use the same officers, which my understanding when looking at a lot of things is oftentimes you did just have officers that took command of various types of troops. So it makes sense to me. So I'm going to order actually a different officer pack, one of the ones that are just from the older line. So I have some different miniatures, and then an extra standard bearer for each, and probably do another similar size unit like this of grenadiers. That's kind of something I'm going to look forward to doing in the future next time I order from Minden, because I really liked painting these guys. One of the things I didn't mention is, I've been painting so much British over the last bit when I have been painting Musk and Tomahawks, and my French. It's been quite some time since I've painted French, and I painted Marines, the French Marines, and I don't think I did as good of a job on those because it was a while ago, and I think that I've steadily improved a little bit, like, since then. I think these guys, to me, came out a bit nicer, and I'm really looking forward to doing this paint scheme again. So I'm kind of enjoying attacking the French for painting. So yeah, so that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this little showcase and chat, and talk to you later.